Hey everybody, it is Karandrin role playing. We are back for episode 9 of Brise's Tale, the continuation of her efforts to escape the machinations of the demon powered sorceress Verlag. And joining me, as always, is my good buddy Max, who plays Brise the Paladin. Say hello to the cherubs who join us today, Max.
Hello, cherubs. Hope everyone's doing well wherever you are in the world. It's warm here in the northern hemisphere, getting warm enough for summer. But yeah, well, welcome everyone. Welcome back, or if you're a first timer, welcome for the first time, and hope you enjoy our role playing here.
And for those of you on YouTube, I know you can find Max's character sheet and notes and things like that down in the description. Character sheet, the notes of the adventure as they go on, her equipment, and some other things. Brise, you see a description down there. She is a phenomenally beautiful, model, supermodel level sort of beauty, human, and we are now in the goblin city of Balabri. It's a large town, really not walled, deep in the mountains. And we were trying to do some role playing before you guys hopped on. Trying to get to a particular meeting that Brise is on her way to. And for some of you guys, you may remember that because of a situation to the west, there's a group of undead, really the remnants of a race of undead called the Philistine, that were inadvertently sort of drawn into this plot. And so Brise has allies among the Fae who are keeping tabs on what the Philistine have decided to do. The Philistine hate Verlag as much as Brise does, and they seek vengeance on her because she is a descendant of those who extinguished them several thousand years ago. So now he's getting an update. He's in this quiet little alleyway, and this tiny little deer-like creature among the Fae is giving him an update about what the Philistine have decided. And one of the revelations that Brise just received is that there are some among the Philistine who are.
Ooh, you cut out there, Kevin. Yeah, I can't hear you. Still no good. No. Uh-oh. All right, technical difficulties, everyone. Please bear with us. Hopefully it's not just me. Let me check YouTube.
Hang on. All right, so you can probably hear me now.
Yes.
Now. And what I'll do is what we figured out is we can toggle. And now can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. So for some reason, Restream will drop my mic, and then I have to toggle it back off and on, and then it's back up.
Excellent.
So sorry, what was the last thing you heard, sir?
The Philistine appeared, updating me. The Philistine appeared. Oh no, the Trinitas appeared. Were updating me on the Philistine, and I think you were about to say what they were updating me on.
Right. So the Trinitas appeared, reporting that there is a contingent among the Philistine who argue that they should go throughout the Vetch, this hilly area to the west where they once resided. They should go and extinguish every thinking being within the Vetch. So that so as to eliminate the possibility of Verlag spying on them. Now, the problem is that Brise, having traveled in the Vetch, knows that there are small communities, small, desperately poor communities living in the Vetch. There are families out there have left failing farms and so on, trying to make a living out here, and all of them would be in danger. Brise has asked, "Well, hey, is there any way we can save those people? The Philistine, the Trinidas, these tiny little deer beings, they, you know, the Trinidas say, if me and my people go to them, we're just going to be seen as strange and bizarre, and they wouldn't listen to us. We don't see any way to save them." And that was sort of the last where we sort of left off in this little pre-stream play we were doing, trying to get it wrapped up before you guys came online. We didn't quite make it, so we're just going to keep playing. So
And we'll do like we'll play through this, and then I'll get back to where I was going, and then maybe we'll do a little synopsis on how we even got to this city.
sure.
But that we'll just do the synopsis as it kind of comes naturally, because
Right, yeah, where it's needed.
Info dump everybody.
Right.
So
So yeah, the question is, how do we? So is there a way to stop them?
it seems the best thing, I tell the Trinidas, would be to dissuade them from that plan entirely, because there's no once they're set on it, there's no way we could stop them.
Again, though, the Trinidas say, who shall they listen to? And their plan has logic to it. As cruel as it is, the plan has logic. How shall we dissuade them from killing everyone in the Vetch? Which gang they absolutely have the power to do. There's hundreds of them.
I had an encounter with a few of them a long time ago, like a month back in in-game time, and they're very malevolent, very powerful, and intelligent. They're not just mindless undead, as you can.
Yeah, these aren't zombies. These are sort of the ghostly undead. You can sort of see through them, but there are a number of spellcasters among them, talented in magic.
I don't know that. I mean, I knew they used magic, but like, oh yeah, they're probably doing wizards basically.
Well, I think you did know it. You just really hadn't thought about it.
Yeah.
Because remember that you talked to one who was an expert in runes.
Yes.
And that would be magical learning, not, say, some sort of supernatural ability granted after death or because of some. Oh yeah, and there's our new art, gang. That's Brise's character. And we're going to hopefully have a slide here soon that'll give credit where credit is due. I should have taken those links and put them in my copy and paste thing, and I didn't do it. But we'll post some links to the artist who did that for us. She did a terrific job, and so I'm sure we'll find other ways to use her in varying capacities.
Yes, to use this artist.
That's right. She may even be joining us tonight on the stream. We'll see if she's brave. But all
right. So we're talking about convincing.
Right. How to convince them.
Or dissuade.
And there is a point that your character should be thinking of right now. And I will.
Are you trying to call me stupid, Kevin?
I'll just be over here waiting and see if there's another element to this that you should think about. I'll be right over here.
What if we took all the Philistine and moved them over?
There you go. That's it. We need undead movers. Is what we need. Roll for me.
82.
Oh my lord! For our newcomers, Max always rolls terribly when his character has to think of something, but not that time. This is a D100 roll. That's how we roll, yo. Oh my lord! It is.
L. Dunovitz.
L. Dunovitz
entered the chat.
Who is not Spanish. That is not Spanish for the Dunovitz. I'll have you know.
I mean, it is, but.
But that's her fantastic art right there. Elle, if you want to post a link up there where people can find your work, I will I'll post it too to both YouTube and Twitch, and we'll just sort of make that a regular thing in our stream, even when you can't join us. So we were talking about how to save people in the. Hey, Julian, welcome. And we're talking about how to save the various small communities in this area called the Vetch from the wrath of the Philistine. And what Brise has just remembered is that in her own travels through there, she knows of at least two um, powerful mages in the area.
Correct.
That, if the Philistine really want to start shaking trees too hard and slaying people,
So
hey, Sapex, welcome.
Max remembers the one wizard in the Indigo Tower.
Yes.
Who was the other one?
The other one was one you were warned away from.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
I should just say a powerful being. You didn't get to meet him or her. It was, I think, it's a male halfling who occupies a home and is said to be very powerful within the Vetch. Welcome, Sapex. I hope you're having a good day.
A lot of new folks here.
Yeah, fun. And gang, every now and then we'll be asking for a drum roll before Max has to make a big roll. So, find your drum roll emoji.
Really any roll, but especially big ones.
Especially big rolls. And particularly because we do have this thing where we do a miracle roll, which I should remind Max about because he always forgets. But it's a miracle roll. If you roll a 100 after asking any question, then I have to make it come true. And I do this once a session for anybody who plays my game. Plays
real life. Yes.
And in real life, I have them do it. I'm just not good at making it come true. I have a lot more power in Karandrin, as my bank account will attest. I have a lot more power in Karandrin. So,
yeah, I will bring up this idea, to them, saying,
I don't know what idea it is. I'm just saying there is a realization that you have.
Yes.
But there are other powerful entities that live in the Vetch.
Right. And I'm going to communicate this to the Trinidas and tell them about these. There are these. I do know of certain powerful wizards, at least two, who are in the Vetch. I don't remember which valley they were in, though.
Well, it wouldn't matter if you remembered the valley, right? Without names and landmarks, remembering a valley is of very little use. You know what I mean?
Well, if it was the same one as the Trinidas and the Philistine were in, that's what I mean, right? They're kind of focused on one valley, and I was traveling through a few. I think it might have been that one.
There are hundreds of valleys within the Vetch. I mean,
Right.
It's an area I don't know how big that area is, about 150 miles across, I guess.
Yeah.
So you're talking about, in any one direction, there's probably 30 or 40 valleys that you would have to traverse, as you learned.
So I mentioned this to them and saying, if there was a way to recruit these, these beings to the cause of at least pushing back the Philistine or dissuading them from such recklessness, that might be a solution.
We know of two as well.
Okay.
What color was the tower you mentioned?
Indigo.
Yeah, indigo. Yeah. We have had dealings with that individual.
Oh, okay.
He is called Totterame. and he is no friend of life or good.
Mm.
The other is considerably to the north, far north of where you traveled.
Mm.
And she will not have anything to do with it either if our interaction was anything to judge by.
Mm.
The sense we got is that she is hiding from what we do not know. But she even spurned our help once
Mm.
when traveling in our valley.
How outlandish would it be for me to try to talk to Totterang? I feel like that would have to be a pretty pretty handsome offering to him, something of that scale. And he seemed to be pretty absorbed in his studies and what he was doing as well.
All such beings are, in our experience.
Right.
I don't know what either you or I could offer that would prompt them to stand against or to even speak against the Philistine. I'll post. I'll
Thinking
read.
to myself, I have a crossbow that I promised to someone of incredible value, but I
Oh, wow.
don't know how I feel about, you know, I don't know if that'd be a thing of honor of like, I've already promised this to someone for a favor,
Right.
to do it to save lives instead.
Yeah.
Albeit the lives of villagers and people living in wilderness, which I don't know how I feel about. Probably.
I mean, clearly they're peasants and
Right.
therefore, of less value than yourself.
Right.
But to be
It's a hard
wanton,
thing to role play. And be like, how
it is.
concerned, would I be?
I mean, really, when in that era, in sort of any sort of era, particularly when you deal with like, right of divine rule and things like that, there really is a belief that you're not merely wealthier than these other people. Um, the God or gods bestowed favor upon you. That's why you have fortune and wealth, and therefore you're more worthy than the poor.
Sure.
And it's something that infects public policy today. It's
Yeah.
one of the reasons that we have a very hard time accepting helping the poor.
Yeah, I was just thinking like that. Probably the way to role play it is to think about people in other countries, who are third world nations, and it's like they're suffering a lot more than we are, but it's hard to conceptualize and
Right. It's
put
hard
that
to.
into action. Now
Right.
the difference here, though, is that I kind of caused this, so I don't know how if
Yes.
there's any guilt behind that or a sense of like I need to right this wrong.
Right.
I kind of feel like should I like roll for how concerned, how much effort I should put into it, just because it's such a moral quandary.
I mean, yeah. Whenever you feel like it's something's tough and you don't want to bog the game down, I'm fine if you want to roll.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I do, just because there's so many ways it could go. Either like either I have to save more lives by focusing on this quest now, or I do feel responsible and need to address this to a degree.
right.
It's kind of the two extremes, right? So I
Right.
think I should roll for where I fall on that spectrum.
So how are you gonna? Do you want a drum roll from our crowd?
Well, no, because I think either way it's going to be kind of a lose. So I'm going to say higher, like towards 100, is I should just stick to what I'm doing here in the town, because this is more important and will save more lives ultimately, versus I'm kind of partially responsible for what happened in the vetch, and I should do whatever I can in my power,
Right.
to at least mitigate more harm there. So we'll roll for that then. And 23. Okay.
All right.
So I do feel kind of responsible. Let me write that down.
Yeah, you certainly feel responsible for the predicament that the Vetch inhabitants are facing. Talk to me. No, I tell you what. Why don't you give me another roll? Sort of one of these realization dealios.
96.
Wow, you have become a lot smarter. Your character has, for some
Big
reason. Roll
brain.
again and add it.
56 plus or 96 plus 31.
All right. You thought, well, how much more valuable would this crossbow be if I went to the magic shop and had them enchant it?
Well, hold on. We talked about that because I
Did
thought
we?
less enchant. If the thing doesn't have an enchantment, then it's more valuable to someone who would enchant it themselves,
Oh, that is true. You're
especially like
right.
a wizard.
You're right. You're right. If it is going to be a wizardly type that you're giving it in exchange, you're right.
Yeah, I do remember
Right.
that discussion.
Because they will probably be able to do it to a greater degree than just a local magic shop. And it's even rare for magic shops really to be able to enchant anything.
Hmm.
Um, they really just deal in resale.
So I think the my current idea is to at one point when we'll see what happens if the situation continues to escalate. Then I think I need to pay a visit to the tower of that guy. At least attempt to pay a visit to him first of all.
Yeah,
Attempt to offer him the crossbow or something else of value. I don't know. Maybe he wants some of the runner's vine, which I've already sold.
but yeah,
I know where to find more though. So make him an offer and see what if that can come of any good. I think and
and
that's
this
already pretty risky doing that because I know he's pretty aloof. So,
right. Yeah, he's yeah.
but I think
Um,
we'll just say that's kind of on the back of my mind is my character wants to do that at some point if
sure.
the situation escalates, just so we don't turn this into a whole like moral like what am I gonna do?
Right, but you're gonna wait for more information. You ask. I guess you're gonna ask the Trinidos to keep closer tabs on the on the Philistan and see if they can determine whether they've begun this purge of the Vetch, something like that.
Right. If they start noticing, any kind of violence in the villages around there, or if they notice a Philistine are well, I guess they wouldn't notice them mobilizing, right? Because it'd probably be clandestine how they do it, but try to keep an
Well,
eye on that.
there's so few people in the Vetch. I mean, you traveled for days and only encountered one civilized being,
Right.
family, admittedly, but still. So, um, um, the question. So I guess ask them to meet you in a couple of days and give you an update.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the 3 days should be fine.
Um,
Or if, unless, or, if they need to find me, definitely
Sooner.
show up. Yeah.
Roll for me.
55.
And roll for me again.
37.
Okay. All right.
20 mithril, like a wizard. Surely 20 mithril is of value to a wizard. Oh, maybe not. I don't know. Breathnaut seemed to give it pretty freely, and she was quite powerful.
Yeah, I mean, they you see what their expenses can run to,
Yes.
um, and what they're willing to give up for their research. Um,
Yeah.
so, oh, excuse me, gang. Oh, um, I'm gonna post our stuff up here. And sometimes, gang, I'll post in the chat the various links if you want to take a look. Oh, dear Lord. Here we go. I'm having the damn login problem again.
Oh, man.
Ugh.
Restream is so promising, and now it's kicking our ass.
I know. What is going on? So irritating. All right, there. See if that works. Yes. So there you go. You can click on there. You see the notes, the character sheet, Brise's personality, which is one of the elements of my style of role playing. Is you have to play within a given personality that I roll for you randomly. So you can click on that stuff, and there's a donate link there if you want to send us some love and help us fund our efforts and research into my poor sore head. They agree to keep you apprised. They wish you luck.
Mm-hmm.
The Trinidas does suggest, they offer at least, that they can approach Tataram's borders and apprise him of the situation.
Yeah, I think that would be good just to get a good first impression.
Okay. If they hear anything back from that sooner, they'll find you.
Okay.
And off they go. The Trinidas alights off your arm, flutters back to this vined creature with the head of a giant flower and lights. We call them flower children because we don't know what else to call them. The flower child opens its green portal of light and floats through, and they're gone. It's evening now, early evening. You're close to the inn that you're staying in. The inn's called the Everwell, where for any newcomer, the idea here is that Brise is teamed up with an elderly expert in demons named Adabir, and they're trying to find the demon Kralum's prison, where Verilag the sorceress has trapped him. And if they can free Kralum from the prison, Verilag will lose her power. And that is a big goal.
And Kralum will be teleported back to his domain.
Yes, because Kralum is himself enormously powerful in his true form. Right now, he's very much weakened and basically can simply take over rats and birds and things like that and use them to communicate and operate in the world. But that's about all he can do right now.
Right. And last session, the plans with Adabir started to unfold because he lives outside Convergence, a couple hours north of the city. And we teleported from Convergence all the way to, I keep forgetting where we are, around here in Nargaz, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was ready for like a month-long journey, and then like, no, we just teleported a week away. So
yeah, he's an old man who can't take a couple of week journey anymore. He's very old. He's very frail.
Very old, but very powerful. So
yeah.
That's where we are now.
They're now in a goblin town when they're hoping to begin searching the mountains, specifically the volcanoes, where Kralum might be chained above. He's a demon of ice. We know that his realm is an icy one, and so clearly the prison was chosen so that the heat would sap some of his power, just as he attempts to stay alive. So now Brise is due back to try to meet with Adabir and sort of get. They only got here the night before, and so plans are moving to move out of this inn eventually and move into the estate of a goblin noblewoman who's agreed to open a position for Adabir, sort of as sort of a court magician, but really just using his research to further her power. And of course, what he really wants is a base of operations. Also,
just really funny. I don't know. I never thought about this like one of those world building, just like inconsistencies we have to work through it. Like, what are the chances that the volcano erupts in like the 5,000 years that it's been sealed away?
Right.
I don't know how often like geothermal activity works in Karandrin.
Sure. And like we know some, of course people talk a lot about the Yosemite supervolcano,
Caldera, yeah.
Yellowstone. Yellowstone, yeah, and that's that erupts about once every 10 million years.
Right. It's like such an enormous scale.
Right. But some of the
You just-
California,
You should just go for it every day. If it
yeah,
erupts. Sorry, what were you saying?
I use what, 8 dice? I have to use 8 dice, and they all come up zeros, and that means it blows up. Or a caldera. But like some of the California volcanoes have blown up, we know, in the last 5,000 years.
Right.
And so it could have had an eruption in that time. But what's interesting is even as powerful as Verlag is, right? Even her scope of time and her knowledge of volcanoes is very limited.
Right.
So she isn't really aware of that danger.
She's not thinking about it. What was I going to say? Yeah. It's funny that you said that rolling about it, because now I'm thinking of like a miracle roll. Like,
Oh, that's hilarious.
From the distance, and we hear a scream of pain. There he is.
That's your miracle roll every time. Is that the volcano just goes up?
That'd be anyway.
So, for that matter, I guess your role could be, Verlag just has a heart attack, bad arteries, and
they basically the equivalent, though.
That's right, and there you go. He eats souls. Aren't some souls fatty? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how we'd do that, but yeah. So you're headed off to meet with Adabir.
Right, and we said I arrived at the inn.
Right, so you get there, to the Everwell. It's a very nice inn. It's probably the nicest inn in town. And sure enough, there is Adabir at the middle of a table. They are some way. It's funny. Who he, Obi-Wan? What are you talking about? But there's some way into the meal. And so
how are these people dressed, though? I want to present myself, Are they just in their kind of robes and normal clothes, or?
Yeah, it looks like, it's not no finery really represented.
Just make sure my hair straightened and everything, and I'll walk over and find a place to.
Right. I keep meaning to bring my other page of my other little book of notes, and I don't do it. So so Adabir is there. His head man, which I need to give a name to. I think we gave him a name way back in the day. So sort of his head butler who helped run the household is there. I got you. Kralum, I see. Obi-Wan was saying that Kralum is the demon of the ice cream realm. I could be the demon of the ice cream realm.
I would trap that demon on a volcano.
That's right. That's not a volcano. It's a giant upside down ice cream cone.
Ice cream cone.
Oh
my gosh.
So Tegrav is there, which is the red-headed new apprentice.
Right.
Who is doing a lot of the heavy lifting magically, the day-to-day stuff to save Adabir's poor his poor health. There is another individual who is new. Let's see what we have here. What is going on? Oh, there we go. That's my bad. There's no way. That can't be true. Oh, interesting. Female goblin.
Okay.
Dressed in robes. Average looking. Bit on the heavy side. has a magical rod in front of her. Um, not really, trying to hide the fact that she's a spell user. Um, um, so you make your way down. Um, um, the They pull up a chair for you and everything. You sit down. You're across from the goblin. Um, she just gives you a nod and continues to eat. There's more than enough food. It's not plate by plate. It's just stuff on the table.
Yeah.
Um, 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 Adabir seems to be in a very good mood. Um, and
Yeah, how is he holding up like out of bed? He's been bedridden for so long. I guess he's doing good now to be out and about.
I mean, certainly he looks tired,
Right.
and and he's sort of braced on the table all the time to keep himself upright. The headman, is continually um, checking on him to make sure he's not making a mess of himself and that sort of thing, and helps him tear bread sometimes, helps him cut meat sometimes. I mean, this guy is very old, but he's got the knowledge.
Also, fittingly, Quinn just entered and so has some very good advice for us all.
That's right. If you like what you're hearing, honestly, if you don't like it, just go ahead and subscribe. And if you hate it, it's fine.
And then every time you see our videos pop up in your feed, you go, I hate those.
That's
people.
right. Yeah, that's the way to do it. It's the
only
only way.
People would do that also, which is but
so.
Okay. Yeah, I'm always just a little bit worried about Adabir. He's kind of like feels like an old relative, like a grandfather. You're always kind of keeping an eye on to see if
I mean, it's more likely that his heart's going to give out before that volcano gives out, and kills Kralum. Quinn asked if freeing Kralum is like releasing the Kraken. Unfortunately, Kralum could probably take the Kraken from that movie.
It is for Kralum's own world. He's going to reappear in his own world after 5,000 years and be like, "What's up, bitches? I'm back." That's going to be interesting. I want to role play that. I want to see that in a campaign. Oh, you're cut out again, Kevin. I can't hear you. Switch. Do the mic switch. No, still can't hear you. What is going on? Apologies again, folks. Restream is not the best platform. It's free, so obviously it's.
Let's see if it'll.
Okay.
Oh, there it is. Wow. It says straight up unplugged. It actually registered unplugged that time, but I'm not unplugged. Weird.
Is that your computer or a Restream, you think?
I don't know. It's a pain in the ass. That's what it is.
Yeah. You can always check your mic settings on the computer and see if maybe have that hold up to the side, and then if the mic goes out, check if your mic's still connected. Your computer thinks it's connected instead of Restream, but
right.
Yeah, because it's weird that Restream would do that.
Well, we've had that problem before. When I had to.
But is that a Skype thing? Is that like a universal thing? I mean, or is it Restream?
Right.
The problem. Karen says, "Go back to mute."
That's hilarious.
Everyone wants you to mute, Kevin.
That is not surprising.
They just want to listen to my voice.
That's right.
Time.
Man, what a bugger! All right.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't happen again, but.
I know. It's like we don't need that going on. Man, I gotta figure out which one of these plugs it is of all the plugs I've got going on here, which is quite a few. Oh well. I'm gonna wind up unplugging everything, the cam, everything, So, So, the once and future ex-wife. That's funny. Yeah, man, it's not showing up the mic at all. We'll just have to press on. Adabir greets you and introduces you to his newest apprentice, and gestures to the woman right across from you, from the goblin woman. Her name is Batherin, and I'll send that to you.
Excellent. Almost got that one right.
He's hoping for one more apprentice. Those interviews are tomorrow. He's also he's already told the assembled that he's heard back from the goblin noblewoman who will be your host for your stay in Nargaz. And they will be ready the day after tomorrow with accommodations. She has also agreed to begin compiling with her cartographers and various other resources to find a list of volcanoes in all of Nargaz.
All right. What was Mia Grawl? That's what her name was.
Mia Grawl is her name. I don't have a caption for her. I should put that up.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't even met her yet, but with no one's kind of influence, you learn a lot about them before you even meet them, right?
Right. Sorry for this. I should keep chatting at least so people have content to listen to.
Listening to your keys.
Listening to my keys. But talking and typing are exceedingly difficult. I suggest you try it at home. So yeah, Lady Mia Grawl is a local goblin woman. Oh my lord. All that typing, and there's some cookie error, it said, and it could not post the caption.
Cookie error?
That's what it said. No. I mean, I think the only cookie error that I'm aware of is there's not enough of them.
I think this goes back to when we tried to get Lowe's and other companies to sponsor us.
Oh, that's right.
They're lashing out.
Yeah. That's true. We do have several Karandrin challenges out there. The first is to contact the CEO of Lowe's for 10 Karandrin points, mind you. Mm-hmm. Contact the CEO of Lowe's and encourage them to sponsor us. Why Lowe's? Because it has nothing to do with role playing, and we think that's hilarious. And the other one is to contact the CEO of FileMaker and ask them to sponsor us, because I do use FileMaker for all my NPCs, magic items, creatures. I use their database program. Mm-hmm. Um, um, I use a lot in Rollmaster, a lot. We'll just, if you can get on board with that and have them contact us here, and that's 10 whole Karandrin points, which is redeemable at any grocery store near you. Just ask them.
Except Kroger.
Well, I mean, if they sell food, it's unlikely to work. But otherwise, any other grocery store.
So while you're typing that, I was going to say, that. Well, now I forgot. Now I'm distracted. I was just going to ask Adabir about the schedule. I'll just say that I was around town and I spoke with some people, so I haven't told them about the priest birds, have I?
No.
So I'll explain that I found out there are some creatures who might be able to aid us, and I'll explain if he's willing to listen, about the priest bird, about its ability to protect and especially obscure against evil.
Well, do you want to engage in that conversation, not knowing the level of secrecy, how much this new individual knows? Do you see what I mean?
Do you mean if I bring up another person, they'll start asking me about? It might seem like I'm betraying the mission.
No. You don't know who here at the table knows about the fact that you're actually seeking out a demon.
Good point. I completely did not even think about that. You've already made that mistake before, so let me write that down in big bold letters. Remember,
no refresh token cookie found.
Only that really sucks. You're losing features by the minute.
We are. Man, that does suck. Yeah, my mic is not showing up. I guess I'll try to fix that during the break, I guess, if possible.
That's funny that you advised me against that. My character wouldn't say that, but in D&D 5th edition, there's a couple add-ons that add on some of these extra spells invented by this one legendary wizard. And one of them is basically everyone in the room forgets the last 6 seconds of what was just said. And it's like you just let something slip like that, and you cast that spell, and it's just 6 seconds ago. It just, to everyone else, it sounded like you were just saying like kind of nonsense, or like saying
interesting. Like they zoned out or whatever.
Yeah. And it's such like a cool idea for a spell, and it's just you realize like so many situations it would work for.
It's sort of like, and it's also impossible to play. I mean, it's just because you're, the character, the players certainly remember,
Right. And that's the thing, and that's like how you use that or not, whether it's if it's the player's mistake or the character's mistake. But like our characters do have slips of the tongue, right? And it makes sense for that to exist in a world.
Right.
Kind of works both for the role playing purposes and for the character.
Right. For a certain sense of realism as well as for role playing in a broader sense.
Yeah. So instead of that, I will say keep a little more general. And
well, you can always meet with him
private. Yeah,
you can always meet with him privately.
Yeah, then I'll do that instead. Just don't even bring it up.
The food is very food-like. Other people seem to enjoy it. So soon there will be, as he said, a third apprentice. He's interviewed quite a few today, and he's got a handful more tomorrow, and then he'll make a final choice. And then the day after tomorrow, you'll hopefully be riding up to the estate, to the Miagral estate, and moving in there. And she's provided, housing for everybody. and all arrangements were made. And of course, it doesn't really matter. He tells you it doesn't really matter if you're there or not. You can present your credentials and so on at the gate, and you'll be escorted to the proper area of the estate. Um, so
Wait, so you're saying I don't have to be there to even meet Mia Grawl, or
right.
okay? Well, I do say I would like to meet her. And I'll say I'm actually having some clothes tailored. We'll be ready by tomorrow for the occasion.
Well, then we'll certainly see to it that you're afforded that chance.
Thank you.
There is no telling. There's no time mentioned. I would hope they would have things ready for us to depart here by noon.
Noon the day after next, right?
Yeah, so
okay.
Not tomorrow noon, but the next day's noon.
Yes.
So, is there anything you need to accomplish here? I mean, the updates are what they've given you.
Mm-hmm. I do not really with anyone else, but I do want to ask Adabir, one, inform him about the priest bird. Two, I do want to ask him kind of the story we're telling the apprentices, and what my role is supposed to be, so that if I need to, to stretch the truth or confronted about anything, we're on the same page, right?
Right.
So I want to ask about that, and those are both being private.
Right, they'll have to do. So do you want to excuse yourself from the meal after you scarf some food down and go fetch your dress down the way?
Well, it is dark, so would I rather just wait till tomorrow, knowing that I kind of got lost in the streets anyway, and now it's going to be dark, which is even worse.
Well, you can always take a lantern.
But, yeah.
And some off-session stuff, guys, that we did off-screen is he bought some magic items. He found a magic shop, and he bought a dress for the occasion of actually meeting this noblewoman. And so he has yet to go fetch that. But he also met a trapper and talked to them about whether they had seen, and whether this trapper had seen in his trapping, in his exploration of the area, whether he had seen a priest bird, this large, sort of 5 foot high, sort of pheasant, who seems to have a holy nature and has protected Brise in the past from detection by Verlag. Despite Verlag's tremendous level of power, even standing 5-6 feet away, Verlag was unable to see Brise and the priest bird when the priest bird sort of wrapped Brise up in its wings. And so, at least in terms of hiding from Verlag, the priest bird can be enormously helpful. And so we know that the species of bird lives in this area. And this hunter, this trapper, has said, "Oh yeah, I know exactly the animal you're talking about. Very, very strange, but you feel good around them." Mm-hmm. And he's like, "I absolutely know the creature you're talking about." And he leaves to go back out into the wild tomorrow morning. And so, Brise, are you thinking about trying to make that appointment? Or
no, because I'd be kind of leaving these guys high and dry on once we journey to.
You want to be present for the move.
Yes, I think that seems to be the right thing to do. Okay. Unless I am overthinking that,
well, I mean, I don't think you're
weird, I guess.
I mean, you've got his location. He comes back every 4 days, he says.
Right. Right.
And like in this era, 4 days means give or take a day. I mean, if all of his traps are full day 3, he's got to come back in.
Yeah, and again, I got to keep in mind this whole journey we're doing with Crown will take months. So yeah, I shouldn't be like, got to rush it. So yeah, we'll just come back in another 4 days, maybe 8 days, and again, or even just find another guy you can find him. So.
Right.
Throw that plan out the window.
That's right. Put it on the back burner.
Out the window onto the back burner.
That's right.
An outdoor stove.
That's right.
That leaves the question of, do I want to go get the dress while night is fallen and the streets are kind of harder to navigate and a little more risky. Yeah. I mean, they even be open? They were elves, I guess, so they do.
Well, the thing is that, this is all business, right? They expect, after they close shop, they expect people to come pound on their door and say, hey, I'm sorry I'm late. I'm just here to pick this up.
Okay.
And by the same token, if a fat enough fee comes in, right, they're going to open their doors and, it's not like today where sort of you'd be very unaccustomed to having someone knock on your door and demand your services. In this era, and in this world, for that matter, the culture accepts very much that you're sort of always on the job because you've always got to make that dollar. So
no, yeah, I think I will do that then because then that way I can take it to the alterations place, the magic shop, and have them do enchantments, give them as much time as possible.
Right.
So yeah, let's say I excuse myself.
Although the problem there is that Adabir may retire at any second.
Oh, that's right. I completely forgot. Yeah, to talk. Thank you. Okay.
So, I mean, you might as well just put the dress off till morning and then.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Walk Adabir up to his room and give him an update.
Exactly.
So, evening winds down right after the meal. Clearly, Adabir is nodding. $1 bills. And you and the headband walk him up. The others, stay down and talk. Why don't you give me, before you go up, why don't you give me a gut feeling on Batherin?
Sure. 43.
She certainly jested a good deal with everyone at the table, like goblins tend to do. She prayed after the meal, which was interesting to see. There it is. So, feels like to you that she's not that far different from most goblins. That she can be trusted to the extent that it's in her it's in her interest to trust you.
Yeah.
Or to the extent that she feels like you're part of her in-group. So that is to say, goblins are very loyal to those that they like, but they are completely disloyal to people that they don't have any connection to.
Right.
But she seems good-humored. She's clearly above average in intelligence, which doesn't surprise you, as you know that most of these scholarly types are rather learned. You think it's something you can work with, right? You don't get a bad vibe from her.
Yeah.
Your thought is, if you can really sort of make inroads with her, then you can keep her loyal to the group.
Okay.
If she takes a liking to you, then by extension, then she shouldn't betray. It would take a lot for her to betray what's going on.
Well, right. I mean, I guess the other.
What now?
the other thing is though she's an apprentice, right? So she's values Adabir for whatever he's teaching her. I don't think there'd
Yeah.
be any suspicion that she'd betray.
Well, you have to remember, you've already seen evidence. And again, guys, this was off screen, that Lady Meagral has already had Brise followed in town.
True.
And so it will not be, in your opinion, beyond Lady Meagral to bribe the apprentices to tell all they know about what Adabir's up to.
Didn't even think about that, but yeah.
Goblins are not as violent as the orcs, but they're cunning. Like I said, their loyalty is very much to their in group. And so you want to build that loyalty and make that harder for her to just get bought off.
Mm-hmm.
So our pen, I hope that little girl of yours is happy and chirping away. So you head upstairs with Adabir.
Mm-hmm.
And he seems pretty out of it. He seems to be dozing on the steps, basically. And so you decide to put off telling him stuff.
That's the perfect time for him to just like, hey, Adabir, can I go do this? He's just like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Oh, good. Exactly, yeah.
Permission, yeah.
That's right, yeah. So,
okay, so don't get a chance then, yeah.
So maybe, I don't know, I'm thinking maybe we have you just sort of call it a night, do some reading, and then maybe we take a break, and we'll come back with the next day. Does that sound like a plan?
Sounds wonderful.
Okay, let me, so, I need to copy this junk. Oh, God. So, boom. You retire to your room here in the city of Ballabri, and you
read from my tome a little bit.
Yeah, roll for me. So you study your spell book.
61.
And just relax. That's an hour of reading. You can get knocked out. Studying your stuff. And then, you just relax otherwise and process your day. And then call it a night. And gang, we're going to take a break and grab drinks and stuff. We hope you'll do the same and then come back with us and join us. But thanks for being here, and we'll be right back.
All right.
So we'll see you in just a few. Hello, everybody.
Hello, hello.
All righty. Well, I have tried to get my mic back working, and I'm hoping you can hear me. It says that my mic is working properly. So,
Okay. Yeah, we can
uh,
hear you.
all right. So, um, go to bed. Nothing of real interest in the night. Make a single roll for me,
65.
and another, please.
24.
You wake up bright and early. It is the morning of the 13th now in Karandrin. Um, I sound like a game master. Well, someone sounds like a game master. It says you, so I assume that means Max.
Karen is really on all these snarky comments tonight. I don't know what's
Are
going
these snarky, vague comments where we can't tell who she's referring to? Um, the
on.
use of pronouns.
Yeah. I don't know how you gotta see it in the context of when we were talking about Crowlem, and then I saw she commented he, and I'm like, oh, Crowlem. But then you saw it like a minute later, and you're like, who's he? Unfortunately, grammar is not can't be respected the same way in a stream.
All you have to do is avoid pronouns, and then you're set. Um,
Avoid all pronouns.
8 mic. That's awesome. Well, can you hear me okay on the mic, Obi-Wan? Or is it terrible? Dang it, my stupid keyboard. That could be anyone she's referring to now. I don't know.
My who is my who owns this keyboard?
Exactly.
You have to refer to yourself in the third person. Eliminate all ambiguity.
Let me see if I can get captions to work now. Oh, yeah. Now they're working.
Excellent.
So, oh, dang it. I lost my Lady Meogral caption that I had said. Oh, can you send it to me? Can you send
Oh
it back?
yes.
See if you can
Well,
copy it.
you can't copy it from the private. Oh, because you like refreshed.
Yeah, and it
Boom.
dropped all of that.
There it is.
Oh, thank you. Um, and I will post that.
Thank you, Karen. We are both dorks. Thank you.
So yeah, so the Lady Mia we mentioned is very key to all of this because she's gonna host them and provide them resources.
It's already helping us with our task as well, apparently.
Yeah, it's already on board. So there, so there you go. So there's a note about her, and off we go. So it's morning. What's on your to-do list for today, Brise? What you got going?
First things first. Let's speak with Adabir. Well, he's gonna wake up later. Yeah.
Well, you could
Well,
leave
then I'll do that later. What's up?
leave him a note.
Yep. Well, I mean, it's a lot I want to talk about the priest birds, right? And
Right.
about I think it'd just be easier if I just, because then I can follow up questions, right? So I'll just find a time he's here today to ask about all that. Well, instead, just go down and have some breakfast, and it's good.
Headman is out. So when
up.
you come out, the headman is out in the hall.
Oh, okay.
He's always up at the crack of dawn, ready to serve, and
Hey, Blue Chugger.
hi, Food Chugger. So he's there. You ask him about Adabir's schedule. He's like, it's all later day. It's all later day interviews.
Mm-hmm.
The interviews that he's got lined up with new magical apprentices, or as they say, apprenti. And
Apprentice.
and I learned that term when I was in the 1930s as the world's greatest scat musician.
Boo 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 boo.
No wonder it doesn't make any sense.
Fixing the mic made me think about that. So I love scatting. It's so stupid. I love doing it. It makes me laugh every time I do it. So he says it's all later day stuff. Um, you know, um,
Mhm.
he went to bed, very early last night, as you know. Um, and you say, all right, you're probably going to go run some errands, I'm guessing, and then try to maybe be back by lunch and try to catch him then
Yep.
before interviews start. All
Yes.
right. Roll to navigate the city. Let's get you. Um,
93. Hey, there we go.
boom! Make it to the shop. They have got your dress ready to go. You try it on.
Perfect.
It looks fantastic. Um, um, then you head to the magic shop to see if they can enchant it for you, and you're going to give us a roll there, my friend.
Sure. And
To
that's
navigate.
the one.
It's a 1.
Why is that magic shot getting to and from it is just so difficult? Yeah, I rolled a straight 1.
It's also quite a
Oh my god. And guess what I rolled next?
what?
100.
So that is a negative 99. Roll again.
Excuse me. Okay, 1 followed by 100. 29.
All
End of
right.
convergence.
You are you're on the edge of town. There's no question you're on the edge of town, but there's no question you're on the wrong edge of town.
Wow.
Everyone you ask has no idea what you're talking about, and instead just gives you shit because that's what goblins do. And tells you that if you can't navigate and inside the valley here, then maybe you'd like it better on the coast.
That's hilarious.
There's a great line in this musical called Sunday in the Park with George. I don't know if you've ever watched that, but I recommend it highly. It's about George Surratt, and who did pointillism and gave rise to the. Oh, you are a little late for the role. You are our pin.
Yeah.
But,
That's the thing. The first roll, I needed it, and he gave it the second roll. I rolled 100, and then
which is not good once you rolled it low. It's set in Paris, and this and I forget the question. These American tourists asked this Frenchman for directions, and I can't remember. I can't remember what they were asking for, but the Frenchman basically points to the ocean, points toward the ocean, and says, "Walk that way until you die." And that's the reception the goblins are giving.
It's so funny. I love that.
So
the goblin are all French. That makes sense.
they are.
They're all Parisians.
That's right. They're.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll knowing that I'm not going to get any information out of them, offer to pay one of them for directions. I mean, I guess if they don't know where it is, then
Exactly. I think you're stuck, unfortunately, teleporting.
Yeah, honestly.
Or spending. I mean, it's already noon. Like you're already that far gone.
Yeah, I'll just teleport to the magic shop. I was there yesterday. Should remember it.
Roll. See how comfortable you are with it.
Well, okay. 9. I guess not.
Yeah, that's about your odds of getting there.
Okay.
But you can always teleport back to the.
Again, what is with this magic shop? It's like in another realm.
It is. It's just.
Okay.
Off screen when he went there, he got there fine, but coming back, he got lost.
Right. So I'll just teleport to the inn again then, and we'll try to start over.
All right. Now we need drum roll because this is a teleport. This is a spell, and we all know the Brise is terrible at teleport.
Terrible spells generally.
And so if we can get some drum rolls from our lovely listeners, then that will be great. Karen,
we got mocking laughter instead.
Yeah, that's not a roll. That's not cool. That's not what we're looking for. So, all right. So let's get some drum rolls going.
Yeah, I'll try to teleport there, and I guess if it's lunchtime already, I'll do the enchanting later.
Sure.
And then I'll try to talk to Adabir if he's.
There's some from Obi-Wan. She's cute. Let's hope. Oh, there's our pen. He's even cuter.
All right, here we go.
All right, roll it up.
Boom. 84.
Oh, bam. Now, successful spell. Now roll to aim.
10.
Roll for me.
Stop asking two. Stop asking me to roll, Kevin. I'm not having a good day. I rolled a 1, a 10, a 2.
Roll again and subtract it.
47. What is going on?
Well, that's not the worst possible choice.
Oh my gosh.
Man, I don't know where you could be.
Lord of mercy. Oh.
Well, you find yourself in an alleyway. Roll to orient yourself.
69.
So frustrated. Meanwhile, Brise shows up at the volcano. You recognize, okay, this is where I was thinking about. I got distracted when I was teleporting. I was thinking about the situation in the vetch. Thank God I didn't teleport there. And instead, here I am in the alleyway where I talked to the
Trinidas.
The Trinidas. So at least you're just a couple of blocks away from the inn.
Okay.
So you decide just to walk.
Yep.
You make it to the inn. You're like, hey, I'll stick my head in and see if the boss is awake and I can talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
Sure enough, he's taking his ease. He's apparently had sort of a big late breakfast and is now up and just taking his ease in the commons room. It's just the head man, at a table nearby, within summoning range, right? Oh man, our pen with the dirty emoji. So
yes, Brise is a Gemini. Thank you. I'll pop Adabir back on there. You hop over to Adabir's table, and he's like, "My dear, did you have a busy morning? How are you?" You could probably look pretty flustered. Yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm trying to get the lay of the city. Use a little time I can.
Oh, it's a tumbleweed, isn't it?
It is. And everyone who asks for direction just yells at you. But I hope I could ask you a few questions.
Certainly.
Okay. So the first, I'll ask him about the story we're telling the apprentices and Mia Grawl, so I'm on the same page. How much do they know about the actual journey? Do they know about my role and how I should be interacting with them?
I've kept your role somewhat vague. Although it's clear that they sense some deference between us, that you don't exactly serve me and I don't exactly serve you. So I'm glad you brought this point up. I was thinking of saying that you're very committed to defeating demons and that your family has been greatly afflicted by it. And so with my expertise, we were going to try to free your family from it. And so that's why some of our work will deal with demons. And therefore, you will be performing tasks toward that goal, some at my instruction, some on at your own behest. So that I thought would cover that. In terms of Kralum himself, I'm going to leave that very vague. I'm simply telling everyone, including the lady, that, oh, excuse me, that what we're doing is searching for a particular volcano, and we'll know it when we find it. Because I'm seeking a way to use the elemental force of the earth to power new forms of enchantment. In the meantime, of course, I will be actually trying to produce actual enchantments for her that will serve her needs.
Mm-hmm.
She seems to be largely interested in magic that can provide information, no doubt to help her spy on her enemies. I should be able to provide those to her at regular intervals to keep her happy. Um, the apprentices are going to be working then for me toward your goal and Miagraw's goal both. And by couching it in the sense that I'm trying to siphon power from a volcano, they will be unwittingly really helping me siphon power from Kralum himself, the great demon lord. Now, that way nothing will seem suspicious. It won't until very late in the research, because then clearly the magics will not deal with the elemental forces of the earth. It will deal with an individual's power of spirit. And those are wildly different pursuits.
Okay.
So for many weeks, we should be able to maintain this facade.
I'll
Yeah.
interrupt in there and say, are you confident if this facade does get, revealed either then or earlier that, everything won't fall through? Is there a better way we could cushion that?
The worst possibility is that Kralum's true nature is discovered.
Right.
And that our plot to siphon power from him is discovered.
Right.
Because then Miagral will want a share of that power.
Ooh, how confident are you? I mean, he does know Muriel, right? I would immediately just ask, are you sure she would be, is that a gamble you're taking, or do you know her that well?
The Lady Miagral is one of the most cunning individuals I have ever met. She is cagey, but she is principled. If she finds out that we are trying to take power from being as powerful as Kralum, then we are going to be in some significant trouble. Because as principled as she is, she will want as much power as she can possibly get. Now, it may all be for naught. I may not be able to successfully take any power from him anyway.
Yeah.
But it probably will mean that you will be thrown out of the castle, as your minor need of freeing yourself from a demon's clutches is considered irrelevant. I doubt she would even harm you. You would just be banned from the castle. You'd be seen as, a minor inconvenience. It's possible you might be kidnapped and dumped somewhere on the peninsula, for instance, just so that you don't go and try to make $1 off of the news of Miagral's plot and inform her enemies. But she's not cold-blooded.
Well, right. And my concern was not that she was cold-blooded, but that she was too righteous, and that learning the true nature of this plan would actually try to put a stop to it. But it sounds like you're confident she is.
My greater fear is it'll go in the other way.
Okay.
Gotcha. But the real problem will be she will then hire a second expert,
right?
Someone younger,
right?
And then I will be forced to work under that individual.
Okay.
And then The real danger is to me, because then, if I'm not compliant, she'll simply imprison me. Perhaps comfortably, perhaps not. But she will.
Well, it seems like you know her very well, so I'll trust your judgment there.
Well, surely, as bright as you are, you have been careful yourself not to talk too freely about our real plan.
No, yep, absolutely.
And Tagrav has already reported being followed by a team of 4 guards.
Right. I should mention that I saw some guards as well following me.
And there you see who our partner is. She takes nothing for granted, she assumes nothing, and there will definitively be spies in our household.
Mm-hmm.
So, to that end, what I would ask you to do is to keep an eye on my headman in case, shall we say, his spending dramatically increases. If he suddenly comes into some wealth, if his clothing suddenly improves.
As in, he rats us out to Mirgrol, to the guards.
Boo 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 boo.
I'm sorry. Sorry, it's off topic. Meaning that he's been bribed.
Yes, okay, that was my deduction, but for a moment I was like, wait, what? He gets money? Okay. On the head man.
So if you see him in town, and let's just give him a name. Let's call him Burlo, Berlo. I like that name a lot.
Sounds a lot like Burra. He only hires people that start with BU.
That's it. That's what he does. We'll assume that that his parents wanted to call him Batterbeer, but that didn't work out.
Batterbeer. Okay. Yeah, I comment that the headman would seem like a prime target for something like that.
Oh.
I guess just out of character to say I would do that by I don't know talking to him every once in a while, just asking what he's been doing casually.
I'm quite serious when I say keep an eye on his attire.
Oh, okay. So literally, just he thinks he's.
Does he seem to start drinking more expensive wines? Perhaps he comes home more often with whores than we expect. He is a good man. I don't really expect betrayal from him. But nonetheless, we all have our price. We all have our temptations. And we just have to work to remain loyal to one another.
Mm-hmm.
I should have him just suddenly go, Brise. All right, Brise.
I'll understand, Brise.
Exactly. So he has been in my employ for almost 10 years. Surely we can keep him a little longer on the straight and narrow, but money, as we said, money is tempting to us all.
Indeed. All right. Well, I'll try that.
Breeze.
Breeze. And then you see he just turns to the headman who's like standing right next to him, and you keep an eye on Breeze.
Exactly. I mean, it's kind of interesting, right? Like, has he had this conversation with someone?
Yeah. Yeah.
But really, probably not, because I mean, it would cut your own throat. There's no reason. You would only betray yourself. So,
Right.
uh,
The stakes I have in this are way higher than anyone else's.
right.
Yeah, on this succeeding. So if he's done talking about whatever, I'll ask him about the priest birds. Then I'll just kind of bring about that I've been doing some of my own research, and I think it's worth searching out. Such a creature. Describe the creature and some of its abilities. I think it's worth reaching out for one of these creatures. They are said to live in these lands, and people.
Oh, they do indeed.
Yeah.
They do.
Okay.
Yes, they're remarkable creatures. Hot-headed, in my experience. I couldn't have them nearby my research. They would attack the building. But yes, they're a good omen. Some of the goblins, I'm not sure any here. Certainly, some of the rural goblins you'll find will take them as a good omen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They've been known to save families from thieves, even.
Okay.
But yes, um, they're sometimes they take up residence in a priest's home that they find particularly worthy.
Oh.
I have met at least one such priest and heard a tale of another who had one that was simply loyal and would follow him around.
Right.
Um, um, but yes, you'll find them in this area, but all throughout the mountains.
Okay. So just say that my plan was to seek one or more of them out and try to at least communicate with them, ask them their protection in case something goes wrong. In case, and I mentioned, the woman Verilag who I've spoken to you about comes and prods about what we're doing. I think they'll be a good ally to combat that from happening.
Well, that is, it can't hurt. The only thing to remember is that they cannot contain themselves, even at the risk of their own life.
Right. Keep that in mind, not bringing them too close to the research or to the party.
Or to Crowlem himself.
Yeah, true.
Remember, even Crowlem in his little bird form said, I can't go near that damn thing. Remember when you were in the orchard and at Brenneloff?
Right.
And he was like, that thing will eat me up if
right.
I go near it.
Yeah, one of the other things I was thinking of is like when I used to speak with animals with the bird, it seemed to have a very its own kind of like language, its own kind of, it was intelligent, but its own kind of intelligence. So I'm wondering if the priest bird also has such a, it's like, I need you to protect me, but not now. Like later, will it understand that? It might be a lost cause, but we'll find out.
Well, we are at a transitional period anyway. You might as well occupy yourself with whatever advantages we can find.
Right. I plan to do that once we, arrive safely at the estate.
Is there something else you wanted to talk to him about? I felt like there was one other point.
No. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You've got your dress. We didn't do this when you left, and I should have. Like, what are you carrying with you when you go out to town?
No, I mean just what I had yesterday, which would be a couple, empty sacks to carry stuff around in, my money, dagger, and just plain clothes, shirt and pants, boots.
Okay.
Belt. Yeah, because I'm just, yeah.
Do you want your coif with you?
Oh yeah. I would have that with me in one of the sacks as well in case I need to don that if anything goes down.
Yeah. I mean,
Off it. And the helm, might as well toss the helm in there too.
Right.
In case
You can put the coif like on but down.
Oh, okay.
And you'll have it around, well, like your art shows there.
Right, but that's like, yeah. I'm trying to imagine like walking through a city just with the coif and like normal clothes. Does that seem strange or no?
No? But you'll have your cloak on. You'll have your cloak on because it's chilly. You'll have your cloak on.
Okay. Yeah,
and
we'll do that.
And yes, it'll be a little strange, but it's not alarming. Not very many people are studying. Although you are strikingly beautiful, and so also your character, and so you're catching some people's eyes, but it's just going to be unusual. You'll have some chain here, and you have a water chain here, but then you've got the hood down on your cloak, just like as Elle has demonstrated.
And again, my concern is just my character is a lot very much about appearances. So I don't want to do something that makes me look goofy, or like so.
Right.
But yeah, it sounds with a cloak and a coif or a coif. That sounds fine.
Right. And so and you can pull your hood up. Just you can always do that. It's not really weird. People like to keep the sun off. Your ears could be cold, that sort of thing. Also, kind of hides your appearance.
Yeah. My thought is I was thinking of like video games, RPG stuff where you like mix and match armor. That makes no sense. It's like I'm going to wear these greaves, but then I'm going to wear like, this like multicolored like tunic. And it just doesn't make any sense. No one would have that type of clothing and people should just be like, what the heck are you wearing?
Right. And that's where you get that robotic play that makes it into
right, but it doesn't make any difference in the game, but here it does. So
exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And this is just one element of unusualness, which you're largely hiding.
Right, exactly, with my cloak. So but then Bola's dagger and then a sack with my helm and money. And
just mark it so you hold yourself true.
Yeah, the problem is I have a lot of stuff. It's hard.
I know. I know. You should just mark it like town gear, right? And then
I do, but see now I'm in a different town and it's like it's colder. There's a lot of variables. So I have them sorted out. So I don't have any treasure on me. I do have a sack.
Other than coinage, right?
Yeah, coinage. Because I have a small pouch. Two pouches, right? Those are pretty much always on me because those are precious things that I wouldn't, leave with anyone else.
Right.
I always have those on me. It's just kind of like the bigger sacks, like figuring that out. So it just, basically my bag of holding. And I'll toss the helm in there and then just whatever's in the bag of holding, that's what I got. Should be everything I need. At least for this excursion into the city. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So off you go, headed to the magic shop. Would you like to request a drum roll to?
One second, I need to update some notes here.
Sure.
About what did we just talk about?
What do we just town gear?
Oh, the priest bird. That's okay.
Right, the priest bird, and that they've been known to save innocents from trouble. Oh, I just had a connection issue announced. That's fantastic. That they will even sort of adopt you if they view you as being worthy. And that they are plentiful around the area, and that goblins, particularly rural goblins, see them as a good omen.
All right, caught up. So sent off for the magic shop.
Oh, I should post your notes again. I mean, people can see the notes. Just to remind you, you can always see the notes down at the bottom of the video. You can see the notes in our donate link. And the notes are live. I mean, they're the notes that Max just typed are now up, and you can see them as he goes. And
I also note any really terrible rolls, so you can get a laugh out of that.
And go back and cackle evilly.
Like here where it says failed teleport 3 times in a row in capital letters.
That's right. The I don't know, for Twitch, I don't know where it puts the notes. which is why I'm going to keep posting them just in the chat when it lets me do that, like so. So here are those links, gang, if you just want to hop there and take a look. And so you can kind of see the setup of how we play. It is very different than a lot of other games. I did see we had a new subscriber last few hours, so we're up to 27. We thank everyone who's joined us. Roll to. Wait, do you want a drum roll? Do you
No, I
need?
can't possibly roll that low again. Okay, 12.
Oh my God! So I'm just gonna have you get there.
Thank you.
You
I
get
can't believe
there,
how hard it
but
is to get to
it's
this.
late. You're like, it's gonna take so long for you to learn this town.
I guess they'll do the enchanting, but I'll just have to maybe catch up with the guys if they depart tomorrow at noon.
That'll be right. Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
They
right.
need to get a horse here.
Oh, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
That's very true. That's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, do you want to say then that you brought your gear for the horse? That was a long pause.
Because wait, you can get a horse now, but it's okay. I guess it's dark. It's starting to get dark, but it's still good to.
It's still,
It's still daylight. Okay, yeah, that's fine.
So we can say you brought your horse gear. Roll for me.
Yeah, in my bag of holding anyway. So
sure. So
60. Let's just say I got lost and came across a stable instead.
Well, so roll again for me. We'll see if you do encounter a stable.
68.
Yeah, all right. You come across a livery that's got horses. No doubt, one of your treks to the edge of town. So they kind of do. Rollmaster does. They do light horses, medium horses, and sort of heavier work horses, and then they do war horses. Usually I get you guys medium horses because they're kind of a good cross of speed and workload. Carrying load. But you show up there and, they're ready to deal. You're seeming just to have great luck avoiding goblin businesses, with the exception of the magic shop. Seems to be dwarven run, family business. You sort of step up to the corral and just watch them for a bit. Dwarven woman walks up, middle-aged, and addresses you in Goblin, and she says, "A pretty face deserves a pretty horse, my lady. Which one of these do you fancy?"
Well, are there any that I fancy? Are there any that reminds me of my last horse? That would be good. I feel like that would be on my mind.
No, they're all quite different. There's not one that strikes you in terms of spiritedness or personality. And
yeah,
she tells you they're all good stock. Some of the better horses in the area. She's not afraid to say. I gotta look up the price for a horse because I don't remember.
2 copper.
That's right.
So if I do get a horse, then I'm expected to probably care for it and get all my other, because I don't have any feed, right? The only thing I really got.
Yeah, but you pay for it at the inn.
Right. I could just they would give me some. So okay.
Yeah, they'll tend it every day for you. They'll brush it every day for you. They'll,
yeah, and
so on. So, you want to go for a medium horse?
Yeah.
I put away the thing. So it's if you want to roll, you can see if you can knock them down the price.
59.
59. It's you get it for 5 gold, 5 silver. So somewhat of a discount. So medium horse. It's if you just want to write down, its base rate is 110. That's just information I need to know.
I'm not happy with that. I need a higher base rate, Kevin.
I'm sorry, man. It's plus 25 to ride, so you get 25 to all your riding rolls. And carrying capacity of 300 without penalty.
Alrighty.
Oh, you need to buy a harness, which I'm sure they have.
Would I take the harness off my other horse though?
I assume. So that's fine. You have a harness. Write down a harness. It's 4 pounds.
Okay. Just carry that around. It's not too much.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Cool. I got my new little buddy. What's their name? Do I come up with that or?
If you'd like to.
I'll decide on a name later. Like
Pooch Hugger seems to think that the name of the horse should be Judas.
Judas. I don't want the horse to betray me.
That's right.
Although I guess that's equating myself to Jesus. So.
Oh my.
Pooch Hugger says I'd say 20 silver as well. I don't know what the context for that is, but I missed it.
That's right. Pooch Hugger was a Catholic priest in another life.
So wait a second. She's a Catholic priest. They're a Catholic priest, but then reincarnation exists?
Well, I mean, they can't be right about everything.
Just ruin their past life.
I had a friend's youth pastor who said, so quite impressively, said to his youth group, he said, the number one thing that I'm sure of is that I'm wrong about most things, religiously, and speaking religiously.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, hey, it's a very healthy attitude.
Right.
Skepticism. I revolt that statement. So you're like, well, at least I got that handled.
Yeah.
So why don't you roll again and just eventually make it to the stupid thing? It's been
31.
It's a very confusing day.
It's just wherever it's located, it's just a really weird and winding district. It must be. We'll just say that to make me feel better about my rolls.
Exactly. And you make it back to the shop. They recognize you, which, is both flattering and a little disconcerting because you forget how easily recognizable you are.
Yeah.
And, they welcome you back and you present them the dress and you say, hey, I want this enchanted. And what did you decide the enchantment you want on there? They can go up to plus 15 magic.
Mm-hmm.
And what they tell you will be 250 gold.
Let me write that down. 250 plus 15 magic. I want.
Oh, it was you were thinking diplomacy?
Yes.
Okay.
Diplomacy and lie detection, if possible.
That'll be another 250.
Sure. This is a nice dress. I mean, it's going to be
right.
Going to be the one that I wear. Important
until it goes out of fashion, and then you have to dye it and get the style changed.
Exactly.
Because you're not giving up all this money you've put into the dress. They say that 2 enchantments will take not twice as long. It'll take considerably longer.
Oh, okay. Well, how long would one enchantment take? Could you get it done tomorrow by noon?
If that's what you need, we can do it.
Then I think I'll just have to settle with one. Just diplomacy.
Okay, so just make yourself a note.
Because I actually did buy some potions of lie detection anyway in Grace. So
right. Oh, that's hilarious. You see Karen's post? Wear the dress on your wedding day to know if Aldrich is for real. That's or drink the lie detection
God,
potion.
that is so fun. I don't know. I don't know. Don't you want your wedding to be like without
Without the
flaws?
shadow on there.
By wearing that, I'm like, I'm tainting that memory of.
They notice, of course, your cloak. I rolled a double lot, and they say, there are magical cloaks.
Go on.
If you're interested, we don't have a huge quantity of items here, but there is a number of magical cloaks that we offer. And what time is it? It's 9. Um, and we'd be happy, just so happy to sell you one. We happen
Well,
to have,
can't refuse. It wouldn't hurt to just see what they got if we can go through that.
yeah, no, I understand. So they have like 8 to choose from.
Oh my gosh, Kevin.
Um, so yeah, let's just go through them. I think this is too. That's not the right way to do it. So there's Cloak of Feathers. It's it literally they show you. It's literally this all one. The one they have is. Let's do Roy G. Biv on that. So it's this red cloak of red feathers. It's very thick. It'll be very warm. All falls are cut in half for severity, and you can glide up to 200 feet from a high surface or
What?
with sufficient speed. So you can basically what is it called? Base jump. So Billowing Cloak on your mental command, it can it magically grows in any dimension save thickness. Thus, you can grab one corner of the cloak and then envelop your opponents. You can grab both corners and dive from great heights using it as a parachute. And in no dimension of the cloak can exceed 75 feet. But it obviously can confuse. Also grants you plus 15 to gliding. Cloak of the Eel adds plus 15 to your stock hide. Halves penalty for swimming in armor. There's a typo in my description. And at will, it can exude a slimy film, granting plus 30 against anybody's attempt to grab onto you or using sweeps
I'll
throws.
skip that. I don't want slimy film.
Well, that's fine. Anything you want, gross.
Breeze is like, nope, no slime.
That's fine. Cloak of Signaling. Plus 15 to duping, which is trying to convince somebody with fast talk. You can also use it to send smoke signals that will appear as precise words to the people named at the time the fire is started by the user. So you can literally do smoke signaling, and it will be precise words that go up to the people you name.
Right.
Plus 15. Oh, sorry. Cloak of Stealth. Plus 15 to stalk hide. Plus 10 to your surprise attacks. And when you're sneaking, you move faster. Cloak of the Cat Burglar. Plus 15 to stalk hide. Increases the distance of your jumps by 10 feet. And all your jumping and landing attempts are silent. Cloak of Soaring. Probably not interested in that since you're afraid of heights. But adds plus 15 to any flying maneuvers. Doubles the duration of flying and levitation spells. Accelerates any rate of levitation and flying. And can hold up to 10 levels of flying and levitation spells.
Oh, man.
But the problem is, of course, you're afraid.
Yes. Don't like heights. Okay, I'm just going to really quickly. How much is the Billowing Cloak? Because that sounds incredibly useful. 75 feet of an arm that can reach things, can pull levers, open doors. Wow.
No, you can't. It doesn't. You use it to wrap people up. Like it does. It's not like a.
Ooh.
You can't pick a lock with it. You see what I mean?
No, of course, but can I open a door with it? Can I push something with it?
No. No. It expands, and like for instance, you grab a corner of it and have it wrap it around an object, and then have it expand, and it could lower you down to the ground.
Okay.
Do you see what I mean? But
Yeah.
it can't really exert force.
Oh, it doesn't push. It more of like it more.
It
Okay.
envelops. So you can envelop opponents. More courageous users will grab both bottom corners of the thing, and then dive using the parachute.
I can still tie it to a doorknob, move away from the door, and then
Yes.
kind of yank. Okay.
Yes.
Still useful. How much is that? Because that sounds pretty cool.
Well, roll to haggle them down.
56.
56. So they'll take a little bit off. So 315 gold.
315 gold pieces. So either that or the feathers, which is cool.
You don't want the sneaky ones, huh?
No, because I have the ring of sneaking already. I'm thinking just more of interesting abilities. Sneaking is very useful, but I'm curious what else I could. I mean, I like magic stuff, right? So if something is more interesting and magical, I would want that too. Why not? I mean, to have a souvenir from. Well, I already have a horse, but why don't we just do 315 gold for the Billowing Cloak?
All right, Billowing Cloak.
Yeah. All right, spend a hefty chunk here. Let me subtract that right quick. So 565 total. Oh, yeah, they have to break a mithril. Are they fine with it? They're probably right.
If any place can break a mithril, it's a magic shop.
Yeah. I always forget, 100 gold per mithril?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Subtraction here. So this is... Okay, I need to break another mithril.
Oh, that text was too long that I sent you.
635. No, 665. Get a calculator. Hopefully this doesn't pop up on the other screen.
That would be funny.
Okay, good.
So it's a little stuff.
It was unexpected, but nice. Okay. I'll just grab that and be on my way.
All right.
Back at noon tomorrow.
So just hop on your horse and ride back.
Back to back to the inn, I think, because nothing else. Yeah. I mean, that was all I really wanted to do today. Didn't see the trapper, right? So
the trapper presumably left this morning and is out checking his traps.
Right.
But,
so the only other thing I could do is try to find if there's more people who have seen the priest bird. But I could always do that when I'm back in the city anyway. So,
well, for that matter, if you go out to the farming community and ask.
Right, exactly. Just like go outside the city and ask someone else. And that's the thing. Should I do that now, or maybe just we'll just sit tight for now because we're leaving tomorrow.
Right.
And
with your horse, you're back into the problem of you can't teleport your horse.
Right, but I'm going to be on an estate, right? So
it'll be 10
unless Adabir is going to teleport there as well. Hope not.
No, she rules this region. They're in this town because she is nearby.
Right, exactly, right. And they were loading wagons and stuff, so they wouldn't do that if they were gonna
Right.
teleport. So yeah, okay. So yeah, my intention was like, okay, I have this horse now, but I have this estate that's willing to care for it while I'm doing stuff for
Right.
quite some time. So that works out. Yeah. So then I will go back to the inn, to the keep for an eternal well.
The Everwell.
Everwell. Close.
Yeah, why don't you roll the navigate, buddy?
Oh, and how is my my bird? I guess the bond with my bird should be even stronger now too, because it's been another day.
The familiar,
Laula.
right, gang? You got a familiar that is, a bird he can command and see through, and so, yeah, so great because you can totally see those guys following you.
Again.
So terrific. It's a different group, but there's no question. So yeah, you can just with a moderate effort now. Yeah, we didn't tend to the bird at all today. That's so bad.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't. There was not a really case where I really needed it, except I could have seen where I was going. Right, just send the bird up there and like, hey, what part of town was I supposed to be in? Direction. So.
So there's there's two goblins. They're clearly following you. They are more disguised in as much as they're wearing farmer's gear and so on, but they're still clearly using cloaks that are too new and clearly hiding weaponry. But it's chilly enough still in this part of the world to warrant cloaks full drawn, but drawn about you if you're chilly in nature. And but they clearly note you as you come out the magic shop, and you're like, oh, I should start practicing with my bird, and you practice with your bird and have it look around, fly around. And that experience is remarkable just because you really are experiencing flight, at quite a clip.
Does that make me nervous at all? I was a little bit uneasy with heights. Like, I don't know. Probably not too much.
You can't do it you have to do it in short spurts because it's difficult.
That's funny. That's really curious. I like that. Like my fears kind of translate to even when I'm seeing through the animal. It's very
and so and I am actually afraid of heights. And so like we tried a Ferris wheel for me a couple of years ago, and the coming over the top of the Ferris wheel was very nerve-wracking for me. Even a Ferris wheel just really freaked me out.
But a very common fear. A lot of people get nervous, rightfully so. It's like a survival thing,
Exactly.
Dangerous spot to be in.
Right. But yeah, so they, they are, they walk, just they're staying on either side of the street. They're paired up and just sort of sending signals to each other, non-verbally, and your bird is sort of just riding on the back of the horse, and you're like, well, I know who they are. I don't know if there's anything you'd like to do.
Well, I would like to. So the goblins that are following me, if I could just, send my bird a little bit closer, just to, I don't know if because their insignias would be under their cloak. So I don't know if there's any chance I can look at them. So I just have to assume they're Mirgrals.
Right.
Right. Because what if they're actually like thieves? I wouldn't be able to know.
Right.
But, well, I don't know because I'm not that trustworthy. So I would probably just try to go fast.
The weapons they're showing, like they're long hilted.
Right.
And so, because they're keeping them drawn tightly around them, right, to hide from something else.
Okay.
And that draws it close to their body, and you can see the hilt is it's not a dagger that's close to their side; it's a longer arm.
Right.
And that does not sound like a thief to you.
They're skilled guardsmen, skilled with weapons. Yeah. Okay, yeah. I mean, still, I'll probably just trot, a little bit and try to get more of a canter on if I can, if it's not too crowded on the streets.
No, it's you've got a good thing, and you just watch out for street urchins, and off you ride. And They try to, they pick up the pace and they're jogging, but even at a decent canter, it's a little difficult to keep up with
Yep.
you.
Yep.
And so you're at least having fun wearing them out.
Yeah.
Um,
Wow, since I've ridden a horse too. That's gotta be interesting.
So, so yeah, you just keep going, and they get further and further behind. They feel like you've got a shot of losing them. Um,
Okay.
if you want to do some ducking around corners and taking a few turns.
Well, so I don't want to make it obvious that I'm losing them. It's
Okay.
more of just like I feel nervous as an untrustworthy person having people follow me who
Yes.
I'm pretty sure they're her servants, but it's still just kind of unnerving.
Right.
So keep distance is more what I'm trying to do, not really
Right.
shake them. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah,
Seems like I'm doing that, so that's good.
Right. So roll to get back to the inn.
26.
Takes you a long time. You have spent so much time just lost in the
I better
city.
get experience for all this traveling throughout the city.
That's right.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny.
Yeah, that is the great thing about this game is you get experience for any experience. You don't get experience for good experiences and bad experiences, or you could lose.
Most of them are bad experiences, so
Right. All of Karandrin role playing is one lengthy bad experience.
Whatever is impactful to your character is considered experience.
Right, exactly. So, yeah, you go quite a distance, and you make some turns, and you're happy that they're further back, and not so happy at being lost, and you basically make it back at supper time, basically.
She's gonna fire all of her like guards. It's like none of you can follow this woman.
Right.
Okay, yeah. So I'll good. I'm join them for supper. So I'll just bring the horse around and have someone take care of it and pay the right people the right amount of money.
You just say put it on Adabir's bill, and then you just go and tell him, and then offer him money.
There you go.
He turns you down. He says
All
it's no problem. And he, they're eating. He didn't like any of the apprentices from the day. And so while he'll still seek out one more, he's going to have to reach out further for his inquiry. Gotcha. And see if he can make some connections. There are schools of various magic users throughout the land, and he's familiar with some of them. And so he may find, individuals, probably teachers at those schools, to be his apprentice, honestly.
Yeah.
And so, you guys eat. That's his only update is that they did receive word that they should depart noon tomorrow and arrive early afternoon. So pack up your rooms and report if you've got more gear, a lot more gear than you came in with, because of purchases in town or preparations that you've made, or arrangements that you've made, then let him know so they can hire an extra wagon. But right now that's the plan, is to leave at noon and hopefully be at Lady Miagraw's mid-afternoon.
Okay. Well, I will tell him, just if I get a chance as an aside, it's like I might have to meet you on the road, just because I do have something that I'm picking up something that might be not ready by until noon from a shop. It's very hard to find. So I might be a little late. If point me to the estate, I could catch up with you on the road.
What part of town is this shop in?
I don't know.
It's
I
on the northern.
name it. I would have probably asked people around. I'll name the shop and name some of the buildings nearby.
Well, you actually told. It's in the north. It's on the northern edge of town.
Northern edge of town. That's why I couldn't find out.
That's it. You see, the character actually forgot. So, he says we'll be going that way.
Oh,
so if you wish to lead the company. Oh God, so scary. We'll have the driver go there because we're not trusting you to lead us anywhere in this damn city. But if he doesn't know that you're lost, but I have the world to think about, and I can't have you getting all these people killed.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And so he's like, we can certainly stop off somewhere.
Okay.
It's not precisely punctual.
Right.
As long as they're within an hour or so. So it's to the north of town is her estate, and just let Burlow, the head man, know if you've got a lot more gear than you arrived with. Because right now space is calculated, and they've hired a couple of guards to watch the wagons, which that have been loaded thus far, and then the company will stop for you tomorrow and let you run your errand, and then
right.
And you guys will move into your new quarters, and then you'll be free to kind of explore the area. You may do straight adventuring.
Honestly, yeah.
Until a better idea comes to you.
Yeah. This is going to be a long-term thing. So once we're settled, then it'll be just as tasks come along, as things come along.
Right.
I'll be free. Yeah.
So
it'll be nice to go back to some straight adventuring. It's been very, very focused. A lot of the stuff I've been doing. So.
It's not it's so weird, like in Karandrin, because the social stuff, you're not doing social stuff for the sake of doing social stuff. You're doing social stuff because shit's on the line.
Necessary, yeah.
I mean, because there are, you would be out there adventuring, except you got tangled into some of these issues.
Right.
And as opportunities came along that seemed logical and fit the world, we let you explore those, and now you can get back to some straight, this is just unattached. I can fail at this and it's fine. It's just dangerous, but it's
hopefully
yes.
Find another equally powerful force.
Right.
Whatever I do, I end up.
Right. Unleashing some other great evil.
Yeah.
Well, so shall we have you retire for the evening, let you roll for a couple of quick things and put your character to bed. And then next week we can start you up and we might even, if you want, we might even play an extra session and try to get you maybe to the meeting of Lady Mia Grawl, and we'll wait to do that for the stream if we have time.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think if we get to her place,
right.
Before the next stream, that'll be pretty cool, because that's another kind of interesting story point. But the journey there, probably not so much. So
right.
I'll keep you posted for that then.
Yeah. Just give me a shout out about when your thing is opening up. I know that we got some stuff planned, but just let me know. So let's get you quickly to bed. Do you want to do some reading on your spell book?
Yeah. Way of the Spirit. Oh, double odd.
Oh my gosh. Roll again and add it.
I read the entire book. 15.
All right. Let's call that.
That reminds me, I forgot a miracle roll. I couldn't really think of anything.
Well, that's all right. You still got time. We're not done yet.
So how much did I read? Sorry, I talked.
3 hours. Where's my pencil? I have lost my writing instrument. Is.
Oh, yeah. I don't know how we want to role play this, but I just had an idea. Miracle Roll, I come across an item that helps me see perfectly in the dark. Because you were just talking about it, and I'm like, wouldn't it be so nice just to see in the dark?
Yeah, I don't know when we would do that,
It's a
right?
pretty small thing, but I don't know.
Right. So we'll just say you're
At the
back.
magic shop, they're like, you know what, you're so awesome, such a great customer. We're gonna throw this on the house for you.
How about this? You'd find that there's an undiscovered property of the cloak you bought.
Oh, excellent.
Okay.
It lets me see in the darkness.
It lets you see in the dark constantly. Roll it up.
81.
All right. Well, nice try.
Nice try.
So, all right. So we'll put you in bed. We'll start you with your morning rolls when you and I play again, whether that be off screen or on screen.
Righto.
And, but thanks for joining us, everybody. I hope you had a good time. I know it was a lot of social stuff, but I find it interesting. I find it interesting
Yeah.
to see how things unfold and what he learns about the world, and so on. If as always, you can look at the notes as well as his equipment and personality character sheet. Hop to the donations thing if you just want to send us a little money, or if you'd like to see the dumb jokes that I put in there that make me giggle every time. Thanks again to L. Dunovitz for the terrific art. We appreciate that, and I hope we'll find more uses for your work in the future. And also check out Max's YouTube channel for discussions of video game music as well as their original soundtracks. He works on those every now and then and puts up a new one. There's a relatively recent one up now, and so go take a look there. But like, subscribe, spread the word to loved ones who enjoy an interesting story in an interesting world. Say goodbye to these lovely cherubs, Max.
They're still lovely cherubs. Okay.
They are.
Yeah. Thanks for sticking through the whole session. Definitely a lot more intrigue and well, not intrigue, but there's a lot more discussion, social things. I guess a little bit of intrigue with what Adabir was talking about. But yeah, thanks for sticking around, and hope to see you again next time.
Yeah, same here. So thank you, everybody. We really appreciate it. And we'll see you next week. I've already got that one scheduled up on YouTube. And we thank you all for hanging out with us, and we'll see you soon. Thanks a lot.